everybody. Today I am going to show you how I do a swipe. It's just basically throwing some color down and swiping over the top of it with a paper towel. First I'm going to show you the consistency of the paint that I'm going to be mixing up. I've mixed a lot of my own colors. I'm using Student Paint by Saks and Deco Art Metallics. I might be adding some other goodies into the paint to show you how I mix them up. I want my paint a little bit thick, so when it falls off of my stick, it leaves a little trace on the surface of the paint. Just a little bit thick. Not too runny, just to have nice creamy body. And I want to make this green a little bit darker, so I'm going to be adding some primary elements, black emerald, just to darken my paint a little bit. And to do this, I'm going to put the powder, these are pigment powders. I'm going to put them in a cup and add the paint to the pigment. That will eliminate chunks. I'm just going to add a little bit of paint in there, enough to mix up the powder. Working with these paints requires a lot of stirring. I find myself stirring sometimes 20 minutes. Just to get everything incorporated real good and no chunks. And you can see that I have two different colors here now. A nice dark emerald green. I'm thinking the green will represent some type of plant matter. So I'm just going to stir this up a little bit more just to make sure everything is incorporated real well. And I'll add a little bit more paint and stir it some more. Alright, and I'll show you what I have here. If I compare the two, you can see I'm just a little bit darker now. And I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to add phthalo blue, and these are all Saks brands. Titanium white, sky blue, and I have a purplish red, and purple, and cobalt blue. Some golden yellow and red. I thought I'd drop some off of a spoon, and my idea is to make a bunch of dots for right now. This red is just a little bit darker than normal. Now I'll add some white and blue, phthalo blue. And I'm going to actually just cover the surface with dots. And while I'm doing this, I will speed up the camera so I don't have anybody falling asleep during this video. I've laid white along the edge, and now I'm going to come in with the green. Just going to put green all along this side and probably up through the painting a little bit, so there's streaks up there to represent some type of plant. Hopefully the colors will represent some flowers after my swipe. But we don't know how this is going to turn out. So here I've got a piece of paper towel, and I'm just going to lay it right on the edge and drag this paper towel, kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit, try to get a little bit of a wavy effect, and just bring that green paint right up over the top of all the colors. This is called a swipe. I did not use silicone this time. Any cells that you see are going to be naturally from the Floetrol that I've mixed in the paint. I'm going to dop this paper towel along the sides of the canvas. Now I'm going to torch to get the bubbles out of the paint or start a flash fire. Now that rarely ever happens. This paint is not flammable, but I like to throw a few jokes in here and there. So what it does is pops the bubbles and kind of shifts the paint. It brings some of the paint up from the bottom, brings the color out. Let the paint do what it wants to do. I'll speed the camera up. Now I'm going to come back in and torch again. There's some pretty neat little cells forming. There's a lot of layers of paint here, so I'm trying to heat the paint without burning it, bring up as much color as I can. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take you in for some close-up shots. As this painting dries, it'll still change and actually look different. I like the way the colors blended together. I've still got some cell formation. I like the way the green kind of streaked up, but I've got some crazing going on. It looks black inside, but as this dried, it turned blue inside those cracks, which was kind of amazing. Now we're going to embellish this with a shadow cat. This cat is cut out of a 1/2 inch piece of plywood, and I like the way the wood grain showed up. It's actually a cat cut out from an old painting that I'm just repurposing. I'm going to glue it on with Weld Bond. I like this glue. It holds really good. I mean, it creates a very strong bond. If we were to try and pull this cat off of the painting, the wood's going to splinter before the cat pulls off the surface. I'm just going to dab some glue on, speed up the camera during this process. My painting is dry. Now I'll very carefully just apply the cat. I planned on putting them right on the edge. I might have some plans to paint a plant or something on the side of them. We'll see. We'll figure that out later on. I'll just gently press them on and let that glue dry. And this is how I embellish these paintings. I might have to go over this cat with a second coat of paint As you can see, I got a little paint stain going on there. And the next step would be varnishing after that.